Carlos Alcaraz and his biggest challenge in world tennis. The Mercian has spoken about his future and has made it clear that he would like to be like Djokovic or Marin Cilic. At 21 years old and with 4 Grand Slams already in his bag, it is inevitable that Carlos Alcaraz is asked about his long-term future, whether he believes he will maintain this level for many years or if his physique will allow him to sustain this pace for a long time. And the Mercian could not have been clearer when speaking to the colleagues at BB Tennis. The player from El Palmar responded that, at the moment, he cannot think much beyond 5 years because doing so would not make much sense. However, he is clear about his desire to be able to endure like Djokovic or Cilic. Hopefully, I can endure like them, continue to perform at a high level at 37, 38 years old. But right now, I think about the next 5 years and, little by little, try to take care of myself physically and tennis-wise to be able to last like them. Thus, in the short term, Alcaraz now faces the challenge of achieving his first Triple Crown in the same tournament, the prestigious Masters 1000 of Indian Wells, considered the 5th Grand Slam of the ATP circuit. The Mercian won it in 2023 and 2024, always defeating Russian Daniil Medvedev in the final, 6-3, 6-2 in 2023 and 7-6, 5, 6-1 in 2024. And although his youth sometimes plays tricks on him, Carlos has already become one of the 2 major references in world tennis, as emphasized by Taylor Fritz, who has not started 2025 on the right foot due to injuries. The American could face the Spaniard in Indian Wells and Miami and does not hesitate to reveal his strategy. With someone like Carlos, the backhand-to-backhand exchanges are a little better for me. With Yannick, I would definitely mix up the patterns more, maybe work more with my forehand. It depends a lot on how fast the court is, the conditions, whether it's worth taking risks or not. Meanwhile, others like Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime are determined to put an end to this global tennis duopoly. At 16, everyone saw him as the next big talent as he was already winning challenger tournaments. Now, at 24, with a completely different reality, he reflects on his career and true objective in an interview with Arab News. Neither Sinner nor Alcaraz were my childhood idols, they are my direct rivals, my competitors. They are good guys, and their rivalry is positive for tennis, but breaking their dominance will be different from the big 3 because Rafa, Roger, and Novak were my great childhood references. Carlos Alcaraz takes the first hit before Indian Wells. The Spanish tennis player is set to participate in an exhibition match before one of the most packed months on the calendar, once again bringing controversy to the table. Carlos Alcaraz left Doha with mixed feelings. After winning in Rotterdam and overcoming one of his great barriers in tennis, he was unable to succeed in this ATP 500, where he was the clear favorite. The Mercian was eliminated by Jiri Lehecka in a tournament where Rublev emerged as the champion. But Alcaraz must regain his best form ahead of a demanding March. In the coming weeks, 2 of the most important Masters 1000 tournaments are on the calendar, with Indian Wells and Miami as the main events. However, these are not the only tournaments he will compete in. He will have little time to recover before the start of the California tournament, as he is set to participate in a new exhibition event, once again sparking controversy and taking the first hit before the competition, where he will be under scrutiny. The Spaniard has been one of the most vocal critics of the ATP calendar, highlighting that too many tournaments are played with very little rest. I haven't played that many tournaments, but I have played many matches. Many believe this calendar is fine, but others think there are too many mandatory tournaments, and there will probably be even more. They are killing us. Now there are many injuries due to the calendar, but at some point, players will have to skip tournaments to take care of their bodies, families, and lives outside of tennis, Alcaraz said about last season. These criticisms were quickly addressed by the ATP president, making it clear that Alcaraz cannot complain about a tight schedule if he chooses to participate in exhibition matches when he could be resting. Something he is set to do again before one of the most demanding months. This Thursday, he will fly to Puerto Rico to train and play an exhibition match against Francis Tiafoe in San Juan on March 2nd. Immediately after, he will head to California to compete in Indian Wells, which begins on March 5th. Carlos Alcaraz has a golden opportunity against Sinner. March offers a chance to earn a significant number of points that could help the Spaniard close the gap with Sinner, who is currently off the courts due to a doping suspension. For this reason, Alcaraz must make the most of the Masters 1000 tournaments to fight for the world number 1 spot. However, his lack of rest could make this goal significantly harder, dealing a severe blow to Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz has a new rival in the battle to be the king of world tennis. Carlos Alcaraz on alert for a new threat. At just 21 years old, Spanish tennis player Carlos Alcaraz has already won 5 Grand Slam titles. He became the youngest world number one in ATP history and reaffirmed his versatility this season by winning his first ATP title on indoor hard courts at the ATP 500 in Rotterdam. A young phenomenon who has emerged as Novak Djokovic takes his final steps on the professional circuit and as Jannik Sinner rises, despite currently facing a 3-month suspension. Meanwhile, Germany's Alexander Zverev continues his pursuit of the top spot, while players like Holger Rune and Daniil Medvedev struggle through rough patches. However, the threats to the dominance of the great names do not stop there. Carlos Alcaraz keeps an eye on a new rival. Pursue his dream of becoming a professional tennis player, has rapidly established himself as a rising star on the ATP Tour. His decision to go pro has already yielded impressive results, as he has proven to be a serious contender for major achievements at a very young age. At just 18 years old, having recently turned 19 in August, Fonseca captured his first ATP title at the Argentine Open in Buenos Aires, showcasing his skill and composure on clay. In the final, he delivered an outstanding performance against local favorite Francisco Cerundolo, demonstrating remarkable resilience and tactical awareness to secure the victory. The triumph not only earned him his maiden ATP trophy but also propelled him up the rankings, climbing to number 68 in the world. This milestone marked him as one of the youngest players in history to win an ATP title, achieving the feat at 18 years, 5 months, and 26 days. For comparison, Carlos Alcaraz, now one of the sport's biggest stars, was the 8th youngest to win an ATP title when he triumphed in Umag at 18 years, 2 months, and 20 days. Fonseca's rapid rise mirrors that of other teenage sensations who have left their mark early in their careers, indicating that he could be on a similar trajectory toward the top of the sport. With his fearless playing style, strong mentality, and growing experience, Fonseca is quickly establishing himself as a player to watch. His impressive achievements at such a young age suggest that he could be a future force on the ATP Tour, following in the footsteps of some of the biggest names in the game. A special guest, João Fonseca, one of the standout young talents in tennis, has been making waves on the ATP circuit. His potential was already evident when he was invited as a special guest to the 2023 ATP Finals training sessions in Turin, where he had the unique opportunity to practice with some of the biggest names in the sport, including Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Daniil Medvedev. These experiences have undoubtedly contributed to his rapid development, as he gained first-hand insight into the work ethic and level required to compete at the highest level. Among those who trained with him, Jannik Sinner was particularly impressed. The Italian, who has since risen to the top of the rankings, recognized Fonseca's remarkable talent and even suggested that he should turn professional as soon as possible. Sinner's words carried significant weight, given his own experience in making an early transition to the Pro Tour and achieving success. Carlos Alcaraz, another young star who has experienced a meteoric rise, has also been keeping a close eye on Fonseca's progress. Following the Brazilian's breakthrough run to his first ATP final at the Argentine Open, Alcaraz was quick to praise his performance. "I watched his final, he played a great match. It's not easy to play your first ATP final against Francisco Cerundolo at home. He has what it takes to fight for big things. I'm happy for him," Alcaraz stated in Doha after defeating Marin Cilic, signaling his awareness of Fonseca's potential as a future competitor. With such endorsements from top players and an already impressive trajectory, João Fonseca appears to be on the verge of making a significant impact on the ATP Tour.